What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hey, I am back at home. Just spent the weekend, Labor Day weekend, up at Clearlake with my son and grandson, camping out and fishing, and just kind of go through kind of a wrap-up video. I had some technical difficulties with my GoPro where the battery swelled up due to the heat, I guess, and I got stuck. It shut off, and I just, after Saturday, I just put it away because I was just having problems with that. End up ruining that battery, and just kind of waited till today. Hopefully things cool off a little. But it was kind of a last minute decision to go up there on Friday. And so I got home and just threw a couple things together as far as baits. But I kind of want to go through the weekend. I haven't looked at my video yet that I did catch on the camera from Friday or Saturday afternoon and Sunday morning and afternoon before the camera blew up. I'll kind of go through the weekend just to kind of do a recap of what we were doing. We caught a ton of fish. It was a lot of fun fishing with Andrew and Waylon, and our best five for the weekend, probably over 25 pounds. Andrew kicked off the weekend with a 5.5 pounder, and just caught a bunch of other fish in addition to that. Like I said, we got up there Saturday, kind of midday, set up the trailer, got everything ready, just kind of hung out for a while because it was, 100, it's Clear Lake and it's 100 million degrees up there during the day. So we kind of waited till kind of late afternoon before we headed out to get a kind of evening session, and headed up north to the slough, up to Rodman, fished up there. Kind of interesting up there. All the grebes are nesting. So I got some video of that. Hopefully it was visible, and it's kind of interesting. They got these little mounds of grass that they build, and they lay their eggs and stuff. So there's tons of grebes, and they're all sitting on eggs. So it's pretty cool. But anyways, we kind of fished up there and just started flipping and pitching and stuff, and ended up doing some punching. I don't have the punch rig set up. I took that off just because we fished some other things later on. And we did some night fishing as well, but we fished up there until dark. We called over to the Roadhouse Bar and Grill and ordered a pizza. Went over there after dark, had some dinner, and then basically kind of headed back down lake towards the Conocta Vista Casino where we were staying. Just a quick note on that. If you've ever stayed there, it's just a big asphalt parking lot basically. I do have full hookups, which is cool. Definitely got my money's worth this weekend. Had the air conditioner and the trailer running the entire weekend, so definitely helped out. But yeah, some of the baits that we did, basically our key baits were just basically flipping and pitching. In deep in the tulies, you basically have the edge of the tulies where you would fish, and it'd be maybe a couple feet behind that, depending on the area you're in, and we were behind that. So I was doing kind of the old school D. Thomas flipping technique, and just flip, shake, 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 lift it back up, flip to the next spot, let it hit the bottom, shake it, shake it, shake it, lift it up, make you shake it, and then pull it back out, and just keep hitting spots after spots. And sometimes you flip it in there, let it hit the bottom, and all of a sudden, boom, it would just tighten up, and you set the hook. And you had to pull those fish out of the thick stuff and over all the wood and grass and crap. So you definitely needed some heavy rigs for that. I was kind of lazy about doing that really quick, and I did lose a fish. I broke one off. That took me into the wood just because I had some 20-pound line on there that I was throwing. But I switched over. This is my my jig rod. Typically have the Mr. B jig on here, and I had changed this over for some night fishing. But 50-pound Suffolk braid. We were throwing an ounce to an ounce and a quarter. Tungsten flipping weight, pegged of course, and then a heavy duty worm hook. And I was throwing this 4-aught Gamakatsu heavy wire hook, and just heavy weight, like I said, and just flip it in there. And when they hit it, you had to rip them. I didn't really take much stuff with me. I kind of took this as my hook box. I took a bag of plastics and my box of tungsten bait, their weights, and Then a few miscellaneous baits. I got Mr. B jigs. Throwing the D-bomb and watermelon red. That was working. I was throwing this old bait. It's a Mega Strike bait, creature bait. Caught some on that. Caught some on, again, black and blue D-bomb. See if I got one in here. Black and blue destroyer. The black and blue, as I got darker, of course, later in the night, the darker colors seemed to work better. I threw the Tokyo rig, didn't get anything on the Tokyo rig, but it turned out to be mostly a flipping bite. I got some of the dead baits here. I'll kind of go through some of those. So that was Saturday. Yeah, Saturday night. We got up fairly early Sunday morning. Went out and fished the morning for a few hours. Came back, had breakfast, hung out for a bit, went back in the afternoon session, fished until dinner time. Came back, had dinner, and then went back for an evening session. We're actually going to head down south towards the Narrows and fish a few areas down there. We got down as far as county park or state park, and it got really rough. It was really windy, so we decided just to turn around, play it safe. We didn't want to be caught down there in the dark with big waves. So we got down, like I said, about county state park area. Got pretty rough. It was still daylight at that time, but we decided to play it safe, turn around and went back up and fished Corinthian. And then we were fishing around those areas, and Waylon caught his big fish of the weekend at that point, which is a 3.5 pounder, and he caught that on just a flipping bait. And then we kind of went in, then got back up Monday morning, this morning, it's still Monday, and headed back kind of down towards the Narrows, and we're fishing an area, and Waylon catches a 5 pounder on a dark sleeper. And that was kind of his bait for most of the weekend. He just loved throwing the dark sleeper and dragging that thing on the bottom. Like I said, I only took 4 rods with me. One was my jig rod, which turned into be my punch rod, just because I got braid on that one. My other one was, which I caught a lot of fish on, just another flipping bait. This is my Dobbins Champion 764, and a 1/2 ounce Wu tungsten weight on there. Throwing the D-bomb, but I realized throwing a lot of different baits with this, with the punch hook, and the lighter rig I would throw in the more sparse toolie areas. But when we got into the really thick stuff, you had to go to the braid and the heavy punch rig just to get back in there. And we're like under trees and behind stuff, and like I said, you had to get into the thick stuff to get the big ones. We caught a lot of other fish throughout the weekend. Shaky head, where'd my shaky head go? Just a 1/4 ounce tungsten shaky head on there. I don't think the worm really mattered as far as colors go. I used a bunch of different colors, and I'll go through some of those as well. But caught a lot of fish on the shaky head. Andrew caught some on that as well. We kind of stuck to what was working, and that was flipping. And then the one rod that I was throwing the Tokyo rig on, I switched to the big shaky head, and I don't think I got bit on this. I didn't use this rod a whole lot. I tried to get something going on the shaky head or the Tokyo rig, and it just wasn't working. So basically my workhorse was the Dobbins Champion 764 with the 1/2 ounce weight on there, pegged of course, and I got the flipping hook on that, or on the heavy stuff with the Dobbins Champion Extreme. This is a 795 flipping rod, and that was kind of what I stuck to. You don't have much to choose from. It just makes it so much simpler as far as the baits. Getting thirsty. This is a STS Pilsner from Russian River Brewing Company, in case you're ever wondering. So some of the dead baits. The boat was kind of a mess, so I took into my pressure washer so you can clean the boat. And while I was there, I grabbed a bunch of the dead baits. A few of the things, kind of go through. Again, just with those heavy rigs, just it really didn't matter what you throw on. This is a Littlefoot Lures craw. That was working. Of course, the Rage Bug. Seemed like the darker colors were working better most of the time. I was also throwing this X-Zone Adrenaline Crawl. This is one that's worn out. It's white on the bottom. This is color. I don't know what color it is. It says Adrenaline Crawl 309. There you go. That one there. Waylon was throwing a drop shot for a while and throwing the MM3. I think he caught some on that. The Bio Spawn. This is the Bio Crawl. Looks like this. Black and blue. When it got dark, low light, the black and blue was working. As well as, where'd my other one go? The black and blue Destroyer. That was really good in the dark. Caught a few fish on that. I think I mentioned the Watermelon Red D-Bomb. That was working. On the shaky head, had basically if I tarp a bait, I just switch to something else just to throw different things. X-Zone worm on that shaky head. Threw a 7-inch Robo Worm and Oxblood. It's the Oxblood Red. I threw this Reaction Innovations Flirt Worm in Spanish Fly color. And also threw this Jean LaRue Tattletale Worm. Again, this is a green pumpkin purple. See that there? That's that worm. So this is the Tattletale Worm, the Jean LaRue. See that dark? It's just a darker color. Through the Mermaid. Of course, can't go wrong with that. Got some flipping. You can see this is pretty torn up. On Flapping Hog Yamamoto. This is what's left of the Robo Worm. This was a 7-inch Robo, and this was the X-Zone Worm, green pumpkin. And then Andrew was throwing some similar baits, but you know, rage tail or rage craws. Something like this Rage Crawl and California Crawl would have worked, and I don't think the color mattered. I think it was more of just getting it into the right spot. Just make cast after cast after cast and just keep hitting those pockets and getting back into the toolies. I caught one today. There was some dead toolies that were kind of laying there, and I threw behind those into the green toolies, and that's where I caught a nice 2-pounder. So that was kind of the weekend. Like I said, I had a ton of fun. We caught a ton of fish throughout the weekend. Every time we went out, we would catch fish. Waylon got his personal best, I think, for Clearlake, which was a 5-pounder. So that was pretty exciting. But yeah, just a great time. And hopefully some of that information helps you. Hopefully that last video I did with us on the water comes out, just because I haven't looked at the video yet, and it kind of got cut short due to technical problems. So that's the weekend at Clearlake. Time to kind of recover from that, and then back to the grind tomorrow. So thanks for watching. Hope that helps you, like I said, and we'll see you next time.